Hello. Be sure and say hi when you jump on. Hi, April. Welcome. Hi, Karen. I missed you too. Hi, Karen. Last week. Hi, Kathy. Welcome. Robert's listening too. Hi, sweetie. Robert is loading up for a long-arm delivery tomorrow. So, he'll be here later. We had a great time at the Kansas City Regional Quilt Festival. That was a lot of fun. Hi, Hey Flea. Saw you there. Running around like, mad woman at the show, trying to get everything done. But it was great to see everybody, so. You picked up your kit. Great. Hi, Lana. Willa's coming through, doing her patrol. Give everybody a chance to get jumped on, but let's check Facebook and YouTube sound check for real quick. If you can give us a thumbs up. Let me know if you can hear okay. I did pick up some goodies at the quilt show, of course. Some small stuff, to work on. Hi, Sweet Ann. Facebook is good, thank you. YouTube is good as well. Let's give everybody just a couple more minutes to get to join us. Hi, Beverly. Thank you, Patsy. We're supposed to have some weather here in Kansas City tonight. My son keeps me updated on all of the happenings for the weather, so if you're in the Midwest, be careful. Didn't know if I'd make it. Oh no, Kathy, I'm so sorry to hear that. But thanks for joining us. Maybe we can be a little bit lighthearted and say a prayer for Kathy Leader's husband. Hi, Terry. Hi, Cecilia. Hi, Cheryl from West Virginia. A lot of hills in West Virginia. I've driven through it. Lots and lots of hills. Raining here in KCK. Yeah, I haven't looked outside, and I have like one window that I have kind of covered, so I can't really see, but yeah, I would expect we're going to get some weather. Tonight it was raining here earlier, but it's springtime. We're going to get that. So let's get started. We are Quilters HQ, Windmill Sewing Center, Quilt Sampler, and Joan Sews. The websites are quiltershq.com, windmillsewingcenter.com, quiltsampler.com, and joansews.com. We do this every Tuesday from 6 to 7 or 6 to 6:30-ish. We're going to finish our project. Well, not finish. We're going to finish our row. So we are working on the last little bit of the cinnamon spice quilt. We're going to do this long row, and then you'll be ready to piece all of this together. And we're not going to do that on the show. We're just going to let you finish that on your own. I'm sure everybody has already done this. Patsy says stormy in Mississippi, but it's summer. What else is new? Yep. So let's get started. I'm going to take all of my stuff. I've already got my blocks laid out. Funny, I was going through picking up all my blocks and laying them out, and I was like, I'm too short. And so then I looked around and I had like 2 pieces that I hadn't finished. I had started sewing them together, but I didn't finish them, so they were just up here on the sewing table. So I got lucky. I didn't have to cut everything out again. So let's hop over to the sewing machine and just get started, because this does take just a minute to do. Little blocks, other blocks, and my 2 large blocks. Gonna switch over. There we go. I'll meet you over there. Sorry about that. I bumped a little bit. Okay, so we are working on this little row right here, and I've already got all my pieces. I'm going to start with, oops, I'm going to need that. That's too far away. I'm going to start with all of the little 4-inch squares and get those out of the way. Grab my block, and while I'm getting laid out, what's everybody working on? Okay, so I need a row of these and a square of 4 of those. So let's put those together real quick. Welcome, Mary from Florida. And again, I'm going to press these open. There's a lot of bulk with these seams. Just comparing my pattern to make sure, because when I did the pattern, I tried not to get like, 2 of the same color right next to each other. And then next week, we're going to start something new. Some little quilts for decoration. Nice. Everybody's working on some cool stuff. I picked up 3 kits from Buttermilk Basin at the show. I thought they were cute, and so little stuff, easy to put together. I have also been working on the leftover blocks from Lori Holt's, what is the name of that? Farm Girl Vintage 2. Which is starting to feel like the never-ending project, because I have like extras of the blocks. So there's part of our little row. I have extras of the blocks, so I'm not making just 1 block. I might be making 4 or 3. Recovering from festival. I hear you there. I was thinking about taking a nap earlier, but decided against it. we're always just a little bit sore when we do festival, so I'm just going to set this aside and piece together these 4 into a little 4 patch. And they go like that. It's a lot of work to get set up, but I enjoy seeing all the people coming out. Because sometimes we don't see people that often in the store because, you know, they have projects they're working on and lives that they're living in. But everybody usually makes time to come out for the show. And it's a good show. So, and then the other good news that we got was the Original Sewing and Quilt Expo is coming to Kansas City again. And that was another favorite, and that'll be next year. And that was another favorite show of mine because you all know I love doing embroidery. Hi, Linda. Hi, Barb. Sometimes these seams are just a little bit difficult to open up. You're not late, you're right on time. We just got started. Northwest Ohio. Beautiful country in Ohio. Huh. Perfect. I think this long one is a little easier to put together than... Hi, Stephanie. Grocery night, so home later. Yep, I hear ya. Since Robert's been doing the cooking, he has been doing the grocery shopping too. And I had forgotten how busy the grocery store can be in, you know, in just the short amount of time. And so we made a Father's Day dinner and hope everybody had a wonderful Father's Day celebration. And it was busy in the store. So I don't necessarily miss going to the grocery store. Okay, so this gets a black background square next to it. I'm going to go ahead and piece that to it. So one of the big blocks. And it goes that way. Yep. Just making sure my seams are staying open. Lining up my corners. Okay. Let's press this open. I was just thinking with all of these seams, this would be a good serger project. How many of you have done piecing with your serger? Okay. Let's set that aside. We need an Orange and black. Like so. Hi, Jessica. Oh, I'm sorry, Janice. The laptop's a little bit far away, so it's hard for me to read. Don't worry about being late. If you came late, you can always just go rewatch. I kind of started in the middle of this row because I wanted to get all those little pieces out first. Serger quilts look interesting, but I've never done one. So a good tip for all of you AccuQuilt users, one thing you can do with your serger is all those little tiny shreds of fabric that you have left over, you can make crazy quilt blocks with your serger. And they turn out super cute, and they lay really flat because you're trimming off all the excess as you sew. So I'm going to attach, so I'm working on this piece right here. I'm going to attach this, and then I'm going to attach that top block. So they turn out pretty cool, and so you just keep piecing. I think I have a video on the Joan Sews channel on how to do it both with a sewing machine and a serger. I like the serger method best because it does all the trimming for you, and those pieces that you trim off, that's your starting point for the next piece. Seam didn't want to open up. There we go. Okay, now let's just press this way. And attach. It is a black background, large block. The other thing I use my serger for is to trim the edges off of my quilts before I bind them. And I don't necessarily bind them all at once. I just wait until, you know, the inspiration hits to bind, and then I have like maybe 3 or 4 to bind at once. And so you don't have all of that excess stuff laying around, the excess batting, the excess backing. Okay, so we're getting there. So we got our big block and our smaller two. Let's piece that row that we did earlier. This one goes right here. See, method to my madness. It all just works out. Don't come unthreaded. So don't think just because you don't make clothing or garments that you don't need a serger. They're very useful in quilting and home deck projects too. So any of your home deck projects are easiest with a serger. And I'm just going through and making sure all these seams stay open. And then I'll iron all of this with a hot iron at the very end. I won't make you watch me iron. That's probably pretty boring. Okay, this gets another one of these solid rows right here on the end. I'm going to flip it this way so that I can make sure these seams are staying open, and if I have any fullness, it's going to be on this larger strip, the solid piece. I was in a little bit of panic when I found out I didn't have two of these little blocks, but happy when I found them on my cutting table. And it looked like I had started piecing them and just didn't finish, so things like that happen. Fascinating to do on quilts. April, are you talking about the serger? Okay, so next we have this block that we made. That was right on the bottom. Don't know where Lana is. She's been sleeping all day today. She hasn't shown up yet. She probably will when Robert gets home. The serger. Yeah, we have a class, if you're local, that they're doing a stained glass quilt with a serger. And it looks like a pretty cool project. Okay, so there's that piece, and then we have a white background and a black background, and they both get a sashing on those. And then we have these last two. Oh, there it is. That get sewn together down here, these two. So I'm going to do those and then attach my sashing, and we are going to be pretty close. Trying to save for a serger. Yeah, there's some pretty good ones that are pretty reasonable. April, for your saving for your serger. Juki makes some that are really reasonable. Okay, let's press this open. Goes this way. Hi, Linda. Everybody weigh in. Let me know if you have a serger or are wanting one. And this gets a large sashing. Oh, thank you, Margaret. We are almost finished. I'm excited to see it finished. Making sure that seam stays open. Probably not as important on these larger blocks because, and especially since we're putting a sashing right here, but on those smaller blocks, that seam being open is very important. And I'm going to attach this. Just purchased a cover stitch. A serger, it's old though, still works great. Forgotten how to use it. That happens. Horn makes a cabinet that I would really love to have for my serger, but I just don't have enough room for it in my sewing room. So my block looks like it's a little bit fuller than my sashing, so I'm going to put it on the bottom here. But I do have my serger out all the time, and if you don't have it out, you can pretty much be sure that you're probably not going to use it. So just like your sewing machine, having a dedicated space for sewing is key if you want to sew a lot and often. Okay, so there's that half, and then we've just got this little bit in the middle. I still might need my pattern because I need to know which way they go. I guess it doesn't matter because I can just rotate it, right? So these get sashing. Let's press that. Sashing on this one. That's a lot off from my block. Let's just rotate my block and see if it lines up a little better. Much better. So I've got about 1/8 of an inch of fullness on this block that I'm going to have to work in somewhere. Brown is an awesome color. It is. It's, you know, guy friendly. I mean, girl friendly too. It's not just guy friendly. So these go together like this. So they're kind of offset a little bit. Let's slide it over so you can see a little better. There we go. Just like that. I think brown is a pretty good neutral color. So a quilt in these colorways, although it seems like it's going to be like you need really muted decor for it to work, but if you have really really loud colors in your home, this will actually mute it a little bit. I'm just hoping that it doesn't turn out to look too Halloween-ish. You never know until you get these all together. Willow's over here saying hello. She's booping me on the leg. And this gets pieced. Nope. Oh, that's the bottom. This gets pieced here. I have my pieces mixed up because they kind of look similar. So this gets pieced to the large block with the white background. No sashing. There's a sashing here. Little one. Let me see if I can get it over where you can see it. There's a sashing here, but it doesn't go all the way across. So let's attach this. And then we'll have one more seam, and we will be almost done with this one. And of course my machine decided to become unthreaded. If you haven't used your serger to serge the edges off your quilt before you bind them, that's a great way to start getting that serger out and becoming more familiar with it. And once you do it, you'll never go back. You'll always do it with your quilts because it makes binding. It doesn't matter which method you use. If you're binding the way that we do it at the shop, where you're I keep turning this around. This is the bottom. Where you're sewing both sides at once, or you're doing and then this gets the French flip method. Once you incorporate your serger into it, you're never going to go back to just trimming it off with your rotary cutter and then binding. Okay, so one seam down the middle of this, and always serge my quilt edges. Yeah, it's a game changer. Karen can tell you it's so worth it. And if you ever get, like, so when you're attaching your binding, so say you're doing the French flip where you're using a 2.5 inch strip folded in half, you don't get that pucker on the back of your quilt sometimes when you're sewing through all of those layers and attaching it. So this gets pieced together, all of these pieces. I'm going to iron this, and I might piece the top. I probably will not quilt it until we get back from Bernina University next week. Like the week after next. No, it's actually next week. But I feel pretty good about this because all of our blocks are assembled. Okay, hang on. I'm going to go back over to the cutting table. Take my laptop with me. Okay, I'm back. Let's set this up. Oh boy. Karen is right. It does make binding really easy. So here is our last piece of our top, and then we are ready to start assembling. There we go. So you can kind of see. It's super cute. And it's going to go with our other 4 pieces that we've already previously pieced. So, ready for you to finish. So we're just going to sew those together in the way it's diagrammed. when you get yours done, please send me a picture because I wanna see what you did. So excited to see what everybody did. Take a pattern, make it your own. I live by that. I'll show you the cute projects that I picked up. This is a company called Buttermilk Basin. They make really, really cute patterns. This one is an Easter pattern. Little bunnies. Let me see, can you see? Yep, there we go. Little bunnies and carrots. And it's super small, so it's not really big. And then a Christmas quilt I thought was super cute. And then a Halloween map. So all of these are just really small projects that, you know, shouldn't take me a long time to finish. I still have kits from all over. And we have a giveaway and our thread. So kits are like fabric. Buying kits and making kits, they're kind of two different hobbies. So we have two colors of the month this month. Baby Blue Eyes. I love this one. This is a variegated color. And it is color number 4663. Let me just type that in real quick. And then the other one is light turquoise. Sean asked me to let you know that the light turquoise came in, and if you had it on order, it shipped today. And it is color number 5006. Very cute. And this is light turquoise. So 15% off for the show, 20% off if you're in the club. If you're not in the club, it's $20 to join. You get this cool box to travel around with you. And it's great for putting in your bag when you go to retreat. And our giveaway for tonight. Oh, I want to show you one more thing. So we got these fabrics in. And they are Patrick Loose, and they're heavy metallic, very pretty. And I was going to use these to kit this quilt. This is one I designed. It is an AccuQuilt cube quilt. It is the 4-inch cube. Let's see if I can hold it up. It is a tree. So I'm trying to hold it up and see the computer screen at the same time. And so, need an invoice, please. Ordered last show. Okay, perfect. So, we're going to kit those fabrics out in for this quilt. So I think it's a fresher take on the color because this is a really light red. It's like, it's got a little bit of a salmony color to it, but it's more in the modern colorway for Christmas. So I think it'll be a really cute kit. So look for those in the shop coming up pretty soon because Christmas fabrics are starting to come in. And I wanted to show you that. So yeah, very pretty fabrics. I think they'll be pretty popular. Patrick Loose. So our giveaway tonight is magic pens. They're 50. I use these. I love them. And they're really nice. They're easy. They're sharp. They're thin, so it's really easy to pin. I don't pin a lot. I glue a lot more than I pin. So, but I do use these. So, I would stand behind those, and so we're just going through looking for a number. Vicky, I get it. Those are really good pins. Loretta Skeeters. I can't type. Robert does this so well. So congratulations, Loretta. If you haven't shopped with us before, please go to Quilters HQ Facebook and direct message us with your address so we can get them to you. And I think Robert just came in. We'll see if he comes flying down the stairs and he can say hello to everybody. But yeah, this is going to be a cute quilt. Stephanie, I will look for your invoice from Joan. I'll go back through and look at all the comments. But yeah, I'm excited about having this done. I hope you are too. And then I've got my fabric out. I haven't cut my border yet, but I have my fabric right here. And I had just a little bit left of the kit fabric, which, I don't know, might make a, I don't think there's enough for pillowcase here. So, nope, so about that much left over. Certainly enough for, you know, to keep in your stash. Okay, doesn't look like we're gonna see him tonight. So, as always, check your thread path, oil your hook, and change your needle if you are running into problems with sewing before you bring your machine in for a spa day. There he is.
Hey, baby.
Hey. Say hello.
Hope everyone had a good time. I just had to listen in this time, so.
Yep. Everybody's on. So that's us for tonight, and we will see you next week.
Who was the winner in the giveaway?
Loretta.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And thread of the month is Pretty Colors. So.
Pretty Colors in the thread of the month. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Enjoy your week, guys.
Be safe if you're in Kansas City.
It quit raining, so.
It quit raining?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good night.